Hello YouTube, it is your boy B3, back with another kicking graphic novel review. Gotta separate those Safari Sams with something, am I right? Today we are reviewing Empyre, the Marvel Comics event. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was actually better than I expected it to be. I wanted to review this directly after the kind of Prelude Road to book leading up to this, which I did. In fact, review it. Check it out. It's on the playlist. And if you probably just scrolled back a few videos, it'd be there if you're watching this when it comes out, that is. But, yeah, I wanted to review this right after, but as I said in my King in Black review, the file wasn't, like, the file didn't work. So, I had to re-review it, and I wanted to put some space between it because I didn't want to immediately film the same video again, you know what I mean? But let me give you the back of the book read-up here. Old allies make it a stress call to the Avengers with news of a terrible enemy that could wipe out humanity. Meanwhile, in the most unlikely of places, the Fantastic Four witness the final conflict of the Kree-Skrull War, and a long-hidden Elder of the Universe stands revealed. With the Kree and Skrulls united under a new Emperor, their war fleet charts a course for Earth. The Avengers are ready to fight, while the FF seek a diplomatic solution. But if they can't work together, the world may not survive. Either way, both teams will be tested as never before. The new Marvel Space Age begins here. Collecting Empyre number 0 Avengers, Empyre number 0 Fantastic Four, Empyre 1 through 6, Empyre Aftermath Avengers, and Empyre Fallout Fantastic Four. So kind of a big book. By Al Ewing, Dan Slott, Valerio Schetti, Pepe Larraz, R.B. Silva, Sean Izaske, sorry, Marty Gracia, and Marcio Minez. Cool! It was a good book. Lots of very good Pride community representation, which is very important to me as a member myself. So in Empyre 0, we find out that we get a little tiny bit of history on the Kree-Skrull War, you know. The Avengers go to the moon, where like a plant city has been established, and they fight a Kree sentry with the head of some kind of plant monster. They encounter the Swordsman, who's, you know, been kind of reborn as a plant alien man. He used to be an Avenger and traitor and sacrificed himself. I don't really know much about the Swordsman. I know more about him after he became a Kotai. The Kotai, by the way, are an intelligent species that shared a planet with the Kree, and were one of the main reasons the Kree-Skrull War started. They were peaceful, incredibly peaceful. And Mantis's son is one of them. Yeah, because she had a baby with Plant Swordsman. And Mantis, by the way, is nothing like she is in the MCU. She is completely different in the comics, just FYI. But a lot goes down. The Avengers fight to protect the Kotai, but and this is where the big ol' spoilers begin, so keep that in mind. The Kotai are the bad guys. They want to wipe out all animal life in the known universe. The Fantastic Four are traveling through space. They end up saving these two kids who are kind of like gladiator slaves. One is a Kree kid, one is a Skrull kid. They're like being forced to fight for the rest of their lives. They were bred to hate each other, you know. And I really liked how their stories ended up. They were saved by the Fantastic Four, who helped them, you know, realize that they had more in common than they did differently. I actually want to read the Fantastic Four tie-in for Empyre because of that. I actually want to read that whole Fantastic Four run because of Ben Grimm. I love the Thing. I don't give a shit about Mr. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman, or the Human Torch. Don't give a single fucking shit about him. But I love the Thing. He's had some great character development over the years. I adore him. And the Thing actually does end up adopting both of them, which is so sweet. Oh my god, I loved that moment. I really loved that moment. So as you know, if you watched my last video, Hulkling, who's half Kree, half Skrull, is now the king of both empires. Their war has ended. They have teamed up to fight a common enemy, the Kotai. She-Hulk gets a fancy hammer that helps her keep her wits about her when she's fully hulked out. I thought it was pretty obvious that she was being mind-controlled. It's later revealed. It takes a while for it to be revealed. But I thought it was pretty obvious because of just the quickness that it happened, and it happened off screen, and then like immediately after it happened there was this panel where half of her face was covered and like one eye was glowing white, and I was like, okay, so she's evil now? Called it. Ghost Rider makes a Quinjet into a Hell Ride. A ghost Quinjet. It was fucking sick. I can't believe that hadn't been done before. There's some dope space battles, both with ships and with people flying around. The Super Scroll is really kick-ass. I really enjoyed Thor in this as well. Hulkling, I love Hulkling, and Wiccan. I want to see more of them all the time. I know they got some King in Black tie-in stuff. I think they're relatively active in Marvel now. I want to read all their stuff. And I am going to review the Young Avengers stuff as well. Just insane. So he does, he's got to do some fighting. The Avengers are captured, and, you know, our little Kotai Messiah is like, look, if you guys just join me, I'll let you live. I know that the Avengers aren't like other animals. I know that you only fight because you want fighting to end. I've seen it over and over. I know you can live peacefully with us. And the Avengers were like, fuck you. Because of course they were. Of course they were. You know? But Hulkling is kind of... he's starting to realize that the crown is going to weigh on him a bit. Captain Marvel becomes the new Kree accuser. You know, she gets that hammer and her outfit goes all green and stuff. It's a good look for her. It really, really is. It was pretty awesome. Reed Richards and Tony Stark. Tony's feeling a lot of guilt about this situation. But Reed Richards and Tony are working together. Just there's so much thing in this, too. I really love it. Like, a lot of characters that I like a lot, but don't read a lot of, were highlighted in this event, and I think that's one reason I liked it so much. Turns out Hulkling's grandmother, an evil former Skrull queen, is actually pulling a lot of strings from behind the scenes, and she can do... Remember in like Volume 6 of New 52 Batman by Scott Snyder? Clayface was able to replicate DNA so that if someone gave a DNA test to him while he was transformed, he would register as that person. She can do that as a Skrull. So she has the best transforming ability of seemingly any Skrull, at least when it comes to camouflage. You know? But damn, they really beat that. You know, so she kind of locks him up and dampens his powers, and she kind of takes his place pretending to be him and stuff. We find out that She-Hulk has been dead for several issues, just straight up dead. But after reading 9 volumes of Immortal Hulk, I was not worried that she wouldn't come back to life. I mean, for one thing, it's comics. If there's demand for it, a character will always come back to life. But with all the Al Ewing Hulk stuff, with the Immortal Hulk, and the Green Door, and all the different gamma mutates, she comes back to life through the Green Door. We find out that Hulkling and Wiccan secretly got married, which was so sweet. Honestly, it's about goddamn time. They kind of just did it quickly because Wiccan's been very busy doing stuff, and Hulkling was going to go be the king of space, so they were like, let's just get married before you have to go, and they did. Which was awesome. It was nice to see the young Avengers were there, like Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, and etc. But then Wiccan shows up to help fight, and it's kick-ass. So much dank shit goes down. So much of it. We do get to have kind of a real wedding for them at the end. They have like a big reception at the end of the book that's kind of an aftermath thing. We'll get to that. But okay, so there are people trying to blow up the sun because that will destroy the Kotai, because they're all right here on Earth's moon and on Earth right now. So if they blow up the sun, there ain't gonna be no more Kotai, you know? They want to do that. They obviously fail. I'm not going to give you all the deets on that because it's a lot to mention, and also I want you to be able to read these for yourselves even if you watch the full spoilery video, you know? I still want there to be stuff that you can enjoy. Mantis does come to try to help her son. You'll find out how well that worked later, I guess. We get to see kind of a history of the Skrull Queen, how she got to where she is. She has a lot of talks with Hulkling, and she seems to actually really care about her grandson. Those villains are always kind of the most interesting, you know? Captain Marvel gets in a bit of a dispute with someone from Sword, or maybe it's Alpha Flight. Probably both. You know, a lot happens. You know, there are consequences for, like, traitors and etc. And then we get a flash forward where it seems like everything's probably going to eventually fall apart. Which is a little fucked. But it seems like it's probably going to happen. It's probably going to happen. And then the Watcher returns at the end and says there will be a reckoning in a very cliche, ominous way. Pretty wild. But yeah, that's it for Empyre. It's a well-drawn book. It's a very well-written book. And by the end of it, the Kree and Skrull War is actually definitively over. It's over. One of the longest-running wars in comics, and, you know, one of the longest wars ever in Marvel, if not, it's probably the longest war. Like, official, what we mortals would call war, I guess, you know what I mean? But holy shit, it was a good book. Al Ewing, you always give me just what I want. Al Ewing, I feel like, wrote to my community very well, because there's a lot of emphasis on Hulkling and Wiccan's relationship. It's not written in a stereotypical way. I always tell people, because I'm Pan, just for reference, but I always tell people that the way you write a homosexual character is the same exact way you write a straight character, except you have them attracted to the same sex. And I feel like that's what Al Ewing did. And that makes me very happy, because that's kind of what I prefer to see, just to see them being treated exactly the same way that they would a straight character. You know, that's how I like it. And I feel like that's what we got here. Very respectful, very well done, very touching. A great book. There are several tie-ins that it seems are relatively necessary. I'm pretty good at using context clues to fill in the gaps in these things, and also just my knowledge of Marvel lore. But yeah, Marvel events and just comic events in general, I kind of just hate how you always have to read a bunch of tie-ins. Like, tie-ins are fun. They can show you what some of your favorite characters are doing on the side that aren't part of the main event, but, like, don't make tie-ins a necessary read. You know what I mean? I feel like King in Black was better about it than this. But this one's better about it than, like, Civil War II was. Or other events. Like, some just make me want to beat my head on the brick wall. But Empyre is a good book, and it's a good event, and I really enjoyed it. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. I'm probably going to do some Empyre tie-in trades. Not all of them. Not all of them. I'm definitely going to do the Fantastic Four one. I'm definitely going to do the Hulkling one. I forget what it's called. Doing those two for sure. And I'm doing Empyre's and Web of Venom. I don't know if it'll be collected into a trade or if it is. If that's currently in a trade at the time this goes up, please let me know so I can get that trade. But if not, I'll just buy the single issue, you know? I'll just get the single issue. Who cares? But that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. If you want to give us a lot of support, you can check out our Patreon or our eBay. But that's it. And we have a Teespring too now. on our link tree. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you all next time.